This is Retro Sports Radio. Visit RetroSeasons.com for more sports history.
The Chicago Cubs are on the air.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Billy Williams. A swing and a long drive, deep to right center. Well hit. Center fielder at the wall. Home run! Home run! Hey!
Lines up again. Throws and Brickell swings the bounder. Grimm leaps into the air, gets it, and throws to the plate. And they trap the runner between third and home. And Hartnett runs up and tags him and turns, but Brickell hadn't got past first base. A very, very nice play by Hartnett.
Billy Jurgis dives for the ball. Now he flips it to Herman at second base. It's out. Very close, but what a play.
The pitch to Kissinger. Swinging a fly ball to deep center field. Matty Allou's going back. It's over his head. It's going to the wall. Kissinger around second base. Matty Alou hasn't got it in yet. He's going to try. He's going to try. Here's the throw for the shortstop. It's ball target. He scores. An inside the park home run.
He swings ground ball right side. Beckett ranging part of his left. He gloves it close to first. He's ready. Tremendous play by Beckett eventually. Far to the first base side under the edge of the outfield grass. Gloved that ball, one-handed, whirled and threw in a flash to first base. A spectacular play. The second one by Beckett.
Deep to right. Back. It's all over. Willie Smith just homered. The Cubs win the game.
Yes, few teams in all of sports have shared with their fans more wild, wonderful, and memorable moments than the team that evolved from the Chicago White Stockings, Colts, and Orphans into the Chicago Cubs.
Attention. Attention, please. Have your pencil and scorecards ready, and I'll give you the correct lineup for today's ball game. The battery for the Cubs, Bush and Hartnett. Batting order, Herman, second base. English, third base. Kyler, right field. Stevenson, left field. Demery, center field. Grimm, first base. Hartnett, the catcher. Koenig, shortstop. And Bush, the pitcher.
For the Cubs today, it's going to be Stan Hack at third base. Johnson will play second. Peanuts Lowry will be in left field. Phil Cavaretta at first base. Andy Pafko in center field. Bill Nicholson in right field. Livingston will do the catching. Hughes is going to play shortstop. And the Cub pitcher, big right-hander Claude Passau.
Some 1,300 players have worn the uniform of the Chicago National League Ball Club. They date back to the team that helped organize the league in 1876. Chicago scored assorted baseball firsts in the 1870s. The first team to be shut out, it was 9-0 New York. The first team to post a 1-0 shutout. The first team to be victimized by a no-hit, no-run game, the pitcher, Philadelphia's Joe Borden. Baseball had a saying in those days, if a team was shut out, it was Chicago'd. On May 2nd, 1917, Jim Hippo Vaughn of the Cubs and Cincinnati's Fred Toney matched 9 innings of hitless ball in baseball's greatest pitching duel. But it will be 38 years before Cub fans experience another no-hitter in Chicago. May 12, 1955. Sam Toothpick Jones holds the Pirates hitless through 8 innings, but opens the 9th by walking Gene Freese, Preston Ward, and Tom Saffel. Bases loaded, nobody out. After a brief conference with manager Stan Hack, Jones proceeds to strike out Dick Grote and rookie Roberto Clemente. The last Pirate hope, slugging Frank Thomas. Sam Jones looks around that infield, somebody on every base. All set again. Here we go. Strike 2. Thomas McClellan, high curve. 1-2. Jones needs one more strike for you know what. One more strike. The umpire peering over McCullough's shoulder. Watch it now. Jones against Thomas. The pitch. Strike 3. Ball. Strike 3. It's a no-hitter for Jones. Pandemonium out on the field. A real mob scene. Jones is being pounded by well-wishers, players, and fans alike. Jones is the first black to pitch a no-hitter in the majors, an achievement that enriches a Chicago record that includes the first league championship, the first batting champion, and the first 400 hitter, both in the person of second baseman Ross Barnes. Chicago is also the first team with a player who powers 3 home runs in a single game. Ed Williamson pioneers the feat in 1884, 60 years before a tobacco-chewing left-handed slugger takes his familiar crouch against the New York Giants.
Again, here comes the pitch. He hits it. There goes another long drive. It may be out of here. It's going. It is gone. The 3rd home run today for slugger Bill Nicholson of the Cubs.
Nicholson will hit another home run in the 2nd game of the Twin Bill, his 6th in 4 games to tie a major league record. During the next era of Cub power, another tobacco-chewing Cub outfielder will duplicate Nicholson's feat twice, both times amazingly against the same pitcher. 8th inning now, ball on the count on Sauer. Big Hank already has 2 homers off Kurt Simmons in this ball game. You know, it's kind of ironic that Sauer got 3 homers off Simmons in 1 game in August of 1950, just before Kurt left for the service. Remember that? Now here's Hank trying to do it again. Kurt's ready. Here's the pitch. There she goes. Back. Home run. Another home run for Sauer. Over the left field wall, way out of the screen. His 18th home run of the year. And Simmons has to be. The Cubs win 3 consecutive pennants starting in 1906 and are the first team to capture 2 consecutive World Series. They do it in 1907 and 8. In the 1929 Classic, the Cubs counterbalanced the honor by misplaying the wildest scoring inning in series history. Philadelphia bombs the Cubs for 10 runs in the 7th to overcome an 8-run Chicago lead. The Athletics win the game and subsequently the series 4-1. 3 years later, with Charlie Root again the pitcher and the Yankees on the way to a 4-game sweep of the series, Babe Ruth drops his own special bombshell.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Where Evans pumps his arm for a called strike 2. Babe let that one go past him also. He never took the bat off his shoulder. 1-2 on Ruth. Now Babe raises that finger again and looks out at Charlie. Ruth gets his sign from Gabby. Into the windup. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A swing. A long drive. It's toward that center field corner. That ball electric swing confines the Wrigley Field at almost the exact spot that Babe had been pointing to. Here's Ruth around second on his way toward third. As he comes into third, he thumbs his nose in the direction of the Cubs dugout. Here he is around third base heading for home.
Did Ruth call his shot? You will find arguments on both sides to this very day. But there's no debating the 21 straight victories that bring the Cubs another pennant in 1935. The storybook finish puts the Cubs losers of 4 series in a row against a Detroit club that has yet to win a world championship. The Tigers lead the series 3-2. Game 6, score tied in the 9th, 1 out. The Tigers' Mickey Cochran singles and advances to second on an infield out. This puts the issue squarely up to the Cubs' Larry French and Detroit veteran Goose Gosling.
The crowd has become surprisingly quiet here in Detroit. Mickey Cochran, the potential winning run, is at second. Larry French goes into the stretch. The southpaw delivers. Goose Gosling swings and the ball is hit into right center. And it's going to drop him. It does. Cochran is heading for home. And here comes the throw, but it's too late. And Cochran scores. The Tigers are the world champions of baseball. Wrigley Stadium is up for grabs.
By now, baseball broadcasts from Wrigley Field had become one of radio's most popular attractions. At one time, no less than 5 Chicago stations carried the Cubs games. Among the familiar Cub voices of their day were Quinn Ryan.
And Kyler swings, and there's a good solid hit over second. Well, folks, Kyler's on first with the Cubs' 3rd hit of the ball game.
Hal Totten.
And the pitcher stands there getting his sign. He winds up again now and throws, and Grimm swings the ground ball toward right field. Kerr goes over far to his left, gets it, throws to first, and it's 2 out in the 2nd inning for the Cubs. A slow ground ball toward right field. Johnny Kerr went over, got it. He seemed to fumble it a second up in his arms. He didn't get it in his hands, but he finally got a hold of it and threw to first. So it's 2 out in the second inning for the Cubs, and Gabby Hartnett is at bat.
Jolly Charlie Grimm.
Big Bill Lee gets the sign from Gabby Hartnett. Jensen is the tying run at third base, and Al Todd the hitter. Big Bill goes into his stretch, and here's the pitch. He struck him out. The Cubs win 2-1 and now trail.
Lou Fonseca.
Tim Dom swings. It's a hit. Don D'Alessandro lined that ball right over Higby's head. And the fire plug, who walks like a man, pulls up at first with a solid single.
And Pat Flanagan.
Welch winds another one up. The field is in shadow now. Sun's gone back the cloud. There goes the ball towards second. Herman gets it, makes the throw to first, and Brickell is out. Brickell out from Herman to Grimm.
Perhaps the single most dramatic moment in Cubs history occurs on a dark, dreary September day in 1938. By dropping the opener to the Cubs, the first-place Pirates see their lead trimmed to a scant half game. In the crucial second game, with darkness closing in, the score tied 5-5, and 2 out in the bottom of the ninth. Manager Gabby Hartnett steps out of the shadows of the dugout for his turn at bat.
It's official now. There won't be another inning. National League President Ford Frick is in the press box, and the umpires have passed up the word. It's now or never, Leo. Gabby steps back into the box. Brown goes into his windup. He throws. Gabby swings. He hits it. It's a long, long drive, way out into left center. Lloyd Wainer is racing back. It's going. It may be. It is a home run. The Cubs win 6-5. Gabby trotting around the bases, stomping on each bag as he passes it.
Of course, in 1938, when we hit the home run, that was really the highlight of my career. Because when I get to second base, I couldn't see Ted with the people. There's so many people on the field, and believe me, when I touched third base, my feet never touched the ground till I got to home.
The Pirates are a beaten ball club. The Cubs mop up the following day, 10-0, and the 1938 pennant race, to all intents and purposes, is history. Such is the joy over Hartnett's dramatic home run that not even the power-laden Yankees frighten Cub loyalists. And in the first 2 games of the series, at least, it's not Yankee power that beats the Cubs. New York takes the opener in a close 3-1 ball game. In Game 2, the Cubs' Dizzy Dean nurses a 1-run lead going into the second inning. With 2 men on, 2 out, Joe Gordon works the count to 3-2.
Well, DiMaggio and Gehrig are on base. They're 2 out here in the Yankees' second. 3-2, the count on Gordon. Something's got to give on this pitch. Dean into the stretch, the pitch. There's a ground ball, and it's going through the left side. Jurgis and Hank have collided going after the ball. The ball is rolling slowly out into left field. Here's DiMaggio scoring. Gehrig is scoring. Gordon pulling up at second base, and Dean runs the ball down in shallow left field. The Yankees take the lead now, 2-1.
The mishap keeps the game close until the latent Yankee power surfaces in the late innings, touching off another 4-game New York sweep. The Cubs' pennant every 3 years chain, which began in 1929, is broken in 1941. Under manager Jimmy Wilson, the Cubs finish a distant 6th. It isn't until 1945, in a league shorn thin of talent by military demands, that the Cubs scramble past the favored Cardinals to capture another pennant. The 45 series goes the full 7 games before the Tigers pull it out. The series is sparked by Claude Passeau in game number 3.
Well, Passeau is getting ready to pitch now to a very dangerous right-hand batter, Rudy York. York steps into the batter's box, the big Indian up there, a very, very dangerous man. Here comes the pitch. York swings and hits the ball to center field. It's a good, clean single. Now he holds up at first base. And by the way, well, I'm looking over at the dugout, and now I see McHale is walking out of the dugout and is apparently going to bat for Webb. Now this will be the Tigers' last chance, as there are 2 out here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Passeau has pitched a truly brilliant game. He's allowed only 1 hit. That was by York, you recall, that single to center field in the 2nd inning. The only other man to reach was on a walk. Passeau looking down at Livingston, getting his sign. He goes into the windup, delivers. McHale swings, and there's a high pop-up behind the plate. Livingston is moving over under it, He makes the catch, and the ball game is over. The Cubs have won the third game of the World Series, 3-0 behind the brilliant pitching of Claude Passau. Passau allowed only one base hit, a single to center field. Well, now we move on to Chicago for the fourth game, with the Cubs holding a 2-1 edge in the series.
The Cubs lose the series but gain a star. The all-around hitting and defensive play of Andy Pafko establishes the boy from Boyceville, Wisconsin, as a bright young pro with a great future and some great catches ahead of him. But the catch Andy Pafko will never forget is the one he doesn't quite make. Or did he?
That's why, I definitely caught the ball, but Alex doesn't know that I caught it. It was kind of a funny, windy afternoon. There were a lot of paper cups in the outfield.
2 out now, top of the ninth inning. Cubs 1, Cardinals nothing. The Cub battery, Rush and Sheffing still. Slaughter leads off first. Rocky Nelson digging in there at the plate. Here's the pitch. Fly ball. Left center. Falling kind of fast. Andy races in. Pafko dives for the ball. Did he catch it or didn't he? Umpire Al Barlick out there signals no catch. Pafko's furious. He's racing in, holding up the ball high. Slaughter scoring. Third base coach Tony Coffin is waving Nelson around. Charlie Grimm is screaming at Pafko to throw the ball. He finally does. And the ball hits Nelson on the hind side as he crosses home with the lead run. I don't believe it. Neither does Pafko. The late 40s and 50s are empty years for the Cubs. That fan interest remains is due in no small measure to the contagious enthusiasm and eternal optimism of Bert Wilson, the voice of the Cubs.
I've had a good chance to see all the promising young rookies who will be fighting for a job this summer, and believe me, they look great. The Cubs infield is generally recognized as one of the best in the league already, and there are several outfielders who look like real major leaguers. With Hank Sauerbeck in left field where he belongs, center and right are wide open affairs. But fellows like Ted Tappy, a real giant whom the Cubs obtained from Cincinnati, and several others, look like the outfield should be in good hands this year. Pitching is a cinch to be better, and the catching department was given a big boost when Harry Cheedy, a fellow built like Gabby Hartnett, came back from the service. Yes, it looks like a very interesting season for the Chicago Cubs this year, and here's the good news.
At the tail end of 53, a shy, gangling shortstop joins the Cubs from the Kansas City Monarchs.
Hello again, baseball fans. This is Bert Wilson, the radio voice of the Chicago Cubs from the spring training camp in Mesa, Arizona. And today we're going to talk to Bingo. In other words, that's that famous bingo to bango to Bilko or Fondy double play combination. And I'm speaking of Ernie Banks, the great rookie shortstop of the Chicago Cubs, or he was a rookie last year. Ernie, you look like you're ready to go for 1955.
Yeah, already, Bert.
I understand that you might have gone to the New York Yankees or the Chicago White Sox, but Whit Matthews kept after somebody and got you in the Chicago Cub organization.
Well, Bert, I think it's a fine organization, and I really like playing with the Cubs.
You're only 23 years old, and last year was your first year in professional baseball. So it looks like you're going to have a long and glorious career, Ernie. Last year you hit .275, which only 2 other shortstops out-hit you last year. And I think it's amazing to me how you get so much power out there, Ernie. You don't use a lot of real swing around. It's that wrist action that does it, I guess. Is that natural, that wrist action?
Yeah, I guess it's just natural. I just swing that way, and I guess I just try to meet the ball and it's go.
Despite the emergence of Banks into a full-fledged superstar, the Cubs continue to wallow in the second division. The frustrations of the mid-50s and early 60s are perhaps best characterized by this seemingly routine play.
Here is Hamner. He singled his last time at bat. He has 1 for 2 the first time up in the ballgame. He struck out. Semenuk is on third base. Kazansky on second. Ashburn is on first. Here's the windup in the pitch. Hamner hits a high pop-up off the right side. It's in foul territory. Landreth and Fondy both there. Landreth waits, and it drops in front of him. It dropped right between them. When the ball hit the ground, Fondy was looking at Landreth, and Landreth was looking at Fondy.
One of the weirdest plays of them all, however, occurs in a game against the Cardinals.
Well, Bob Anderson is all set to work on Stan Musial once again at the plate now. Musial has a count of 3 balls and 1 strike. Sammy Taylor, Chicago catcher, flashes out the next sign. Here's the windup by Bob Anderson. The next pitch into Musial. There's a ball. It goes all the way by Taylor. Ball 4, and Musial's trotting up to first base, but Taylor's not chasing the ball. Instead, he's arguing with the plate umpire, Vic Delmore, evidently claiming that the ball hit Musial's bat. Musial now is on his way to second base. The throw down to second base sails over Tony Taylor's head into right center field. There's another ball coming out from behind the plate somewhere. It's taken by the shortstop, Ernie Banks. Musial gets up from his slide and is going to try for third base, and Banks runs him down and puts the tag on Musial. Boy, what a big rhubarb we have in the field right now. Bill Jakowski, the second base umpire, I believe, is the one who has called Musial out between second and third. The Cardinals are up in arms about it now. The big point is here, which is the official baseball? The ball 4 that went by Sammy Taylor went back to the base of the screen. It evidently was picked up by the third baseman, Al Dark, who threw out to Ernie Banks. The other baseball, I think, was thrown by the pitcher, Bob Anderson. He evidently acquired in some way the baseball from the plate umpire, Vic Delmore, thus allowing 2 baseballs to be in play at the same time.
Not all the bloopers are confined to the playing field.
Lou, since we've been working with Webolts this year, I'm learning more about women's clothes every day. Now, for example, do you know what a shadow panel is?
Well, old chap, I haven't the foggiest. What is it?
Well, it's a lining they put in women's slips.
And they have these slips at Webolts?
Ooh, do they?
Say, don't ad-lib, just read what's on the script.
Well, Kaiser makes them in nylon, and it's light as a feather. These slips are edged with lace at the top and bottom. They sound great, huh?
They sure do.
Oh, mercy. That's the last one of those we'll get all summer, I bet.
How about it, fellas? One more time.
And another thing, Jackson.
Yes?
This year, for the first time, Webolts is including popular stretch pantyhose in this sale. They're regularly $3, but now you can get them for $2.39.
You haven't finished.
Yes, I did. Woo!
Oh, boy.
Go to Webolts, gals.
The Cubs' efforts to produce a winning team in those years are marked more by individual achievement than by overall team effectiveness.
Ball 3, strike 1 on Cunningham. 2 out on the top of the 9th inning. The Cubs 4, the Cardinals nothing. Here's the windup by Don Cardwell and the 3-1 pitch. Strike call, 3-2, and Cunningham is arguing now. He's really sore. He is really peeved at that strike 2 that was called. He's back here barking at Tony Benson, the plate umpire. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. One more pitch could end the ball game. You know what kind of a pitch we're hoping for. The dark one, blow it past him, Don. 3 balls, 2 strikes, Cunningham waits. Cardwell into the windup. Here's the biggest pitch of this ball game. Lined into left field. Here's Moran coming. He got it! He got it! A no-hitter. Moran made a great game-saving catch. A no-hitter for Cardwell. His teammates are mouthing. Cardwell's teammates are pounding him to death.
Minus the dramatics, a hustling Cubs second baseman also writes his name into the record books.
The 2-1 pitch to Johnny Edwards. Fastball hit on the ground to Kenny Hubbs. Here it is, the record breaker. He throws him out, and that's number 415 for Hubbs, which breaks the record. He just threw Johnny Edwards out to retire the side, and it's the 415th consecutive chance for Hubbs without an error, and Dusty Boggess gives him the baseball, and that'll go in a very treasured place. Hubbs comes out and accepts the ball from Boggess and tips his cap, acknowledging the cheers of the fans here in Cincinnati.
1966. Baseball by committee gives way to the uniquely singular leadership of Leo DeRocher. Hard-nosed, winning baseball returns to Wrigley Field. The Cubs open the 1969 season against Philadelphia. Bottom of the 11th, with 2 out, a man on, and the Cubs trailing by a run. Pinch hitter Willie Smith lights the fuse to one of the most explosive years in Chicago Cubs history.
Stretch in the pitch. Willie hits one high, deep right field. It could be. It is a home run. A home run for Willie Smith, and the Cubs win. club is down at home plate as a welcoming committee for Willie. They mob him at home plate. The Cubs have pulled it out on Willie Smith. 2-run pinch hit homer into the bleachers in right field.
Given little more than an outside chance in preseason polls, the Cubs break fast in their drive to bring Chicago its first National League flag in 24 years. Sharing the early season heroics that carried the Cubs to the top of the National League East are Fergie Jenkins, en route to another 20-game season, his battery mate Randy Hundley, Willie Smith, Al Spangler, Don Kessinger, Phil Regan, but the pace setter of them all, the leader whose spirited performance exemplifies the inspired play of this 1969 ball club, is Mr. Cub himself, Ernie Banks.
3-2 pitch. Fastball is swinging. Here's one hit deep. Goes to left field. It's way back. It's going. Oh! A grand slammer for Ernie Banks. Number 12 of his career.
In all the excitement of the Cubs' early surge, little attention is given the improving New York Mets, whose promising young staff blossoms almost overnight. On July 9th, the Cubs are treated to a personal demonstration of this overpowering pitching brilliance. Before a capacity crowd at Shea Stadium, Tom Seaver sets the Cubs down 1-2-3 through 8 perfect innings. With the crowd roaring on every pitch, fate comes to bat in the person of Jimmy Qualls.
He swings a drive into left center field. It's in there for a base hit. There goes the perfect ball game, and Qualls is on with a line drive single.
The Cubs drop 2 out of 3 to New York, but the Northsiders rebound to take the Mets the following week in Wrigley Field. And by August 6th, their division lead has zoomed to a comfortable 8.5 games. San Diego, August 13th, the Cubs threatening.
Scratching the 3-2 pitch to Williams. Runner's going. He swings a liner back to Negro. He gloves it. Steps on second for 1 out for the second out, and then tags Brent Beckert for a triple play.
Even a triple play can't deny Bill Hands his 15th victory of the season, a season that reaches its peak the following week. The Braves at Wrigley Field. Kenny Holtzman on the threshold of one of those things, hammering Henry Aaron at bat in the 7th.
2-2 pitch. Aaron swings. That baby is hit. Look out. It's way back there in left field. Billy Williams back to the bleachers. Back to the corner. He drops it. Holy mackerel. That ball was ticketed to go into the bleachers, and the wind moved it just away from the bleachers to the farthest corner of the wall out there, and Billy Williams staying with it, grabbed it right up against the line.
With 2 outs in the 9th, and the Braves still without a hit, the dangerous Mr. Aaron returns as Atlanta's last hope.
A nervous crowd, an excited crowd here at Wrigley Field on a beautiful afternoon. That Holtzman looking down, looks to be calm. Nods his head, steps back. Here's the pitch. Fastball. He swings, ground ball to Beckert. Here's the throw. He is out. No-hitter. A no-hitter for Kenny Holtzman. He did it. A no-hit, no-run ball game, and the Cubs are swamping Kenny out of that mound. Beckert just fumbled that ball momentarily, and that's true. And a lot of this crowd is broken through the cordon of Andy Frayne ushers and extra guards, and they are out on the field. There is real pandemonium.
Holtzman's masterpiece lifts the Cubs to new heights, but the rarefied air proves too much as the division leaders drop their next 3 games, setting the stage for Mr. Dependable, Jim Hickman.
Hickman swings a drive high and deep left field. Back to it goes Martinez. It's a home run! Home run at
Satchel Paige used to say, "Never look back. You never know who may be gaining on you." Well, a season of looking back finally begins to catch up with the tiring Chicago club. Their lead shrinking fast, the Cubs are but 1 out away from a big win over the Pirates. Just 1 out away. Stargell at bat.
There's a well-hit ball. Look out. That's gone. Way back there, all the way out on Waveland Avenue, or rather on Sheffield Avenue, over the right field wall. That is a home run, and we have a brand new ball game at Wrigley Field.
Pittsburgh scores 2 unearned runs in the 11th to win the game many call the turning point of the season. September 10th. After a season-long chase, the Mets catch and pass the Cubs. The New Yorkers streak on to win the Eastern Division title and the National League pennant. then upset Baltimore to win the World Series. It was all over now but the shouting. The shouts from disappointed but not disheartened Cub fans. Wait till next year. It's a mature, determined Chicago Cub team that takes to the field in 1970. The wounds of the '69 collapse hopefully healed. Pennant race aside, fan interest early in the season focuses on the individual performances of two all-time Cub greats. The first milestone culminates April 30th, the Cubs at Atlanta.
Here comes Billy Williams. They make the announcement here that this is his 1,000th consecutive game, a National League record. And on the auxiliary scoreboard, it says, "Congratulations, Billy," and he gets a very fine hand, and several of the customers here at Atlanta, Georgia tonight are beginning to stand, and more of them now getting to their feet to give Billy a standing ovation.
May 12th, the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. It's patron saint at bat. His moving fingers and cocked wrists taking aim at the record book.
1-1 pitch. He swings and a drive. A liner left field. It is. There it is. Mr. Banks has just hit his 500th career homer. He is getting a standing ovation. He is trotting to third base. A handshake from Peter Slaughter. He kissed a low liner, a fastball. Doffs his cap as he steps on home plate. Waves to the fans as he jogs into that dugout. They are standing here at Wrigley Field and giving Ernie an ovation.
Not all of Banks' big hits, however, are for the distance, as Ernie proves to the Mets' Gary Gentry the following day.
Fastball swung on, drive into left field, comes on, dropped by the left fielder. Dave Marshall gets behind him. Banks makes the turn and holds at first base, and Jimmy Enright, the official scorer, has to decide whether that's the first hit of the ball game or an error. It is a hit.
May 28th, that man, Hickman, picks up where he left off in '69 to spark the Cubs' early charge.
Hickman swings a drive, deep left field. It is back. It is a home run, and the Cubs win on Hickman. Line drive, home run. Holy mackerel! What a walla!
Hickman's hot bat will continue to sizzle through most of the campaign. On June 3rd, his game-winning homer against the Dodgers moves the Cubs 2.5 games up on the Mets. But the lead doesn't hold. The advantage of an early 11-game winning streak is all but erased as the Cubs are unable to shake a slump. On June 24th, the Mets get in their licks twice.
Colburn looks at first. Chamsky swings, base hit into left field. Here's Harrelson coming up the line to score easily. Jones stops at second on the sharp single to left field off the bat of Shamsky. So he gets into the RBI act, and the Mets now lead us 8-1.
Game 2 follows suit.
2-0 pitch. Dyer swings, a drive into left field for a base hit. Here comes Hills waving that runner around third, and Billy Williams' throw cut off by Popovich. Throw to second. The runner gets back just in time. This is Andy Olson, the second base umpire. Mets lead 4-1.
And the New Yorkers' double win moves them past Chicago into the division lead. The Chicago losing streak reaches 12, one shy of the all-time Cub record, before Fergie Jenkins snaps the string by blanking the Cardinals 5-0. July 5th, with the Northsiders again beginning to close in, the pennant race and tempers heat up as the Cubs and the Pirates do their July 4th celebrating a day late.
Rocier's having some words with Ellis.
With Ellis, yeah. Ellis not looking at him right away, but before Leo leaves, he's some 20 feet away from Ellis. He's letting have some of Leo's finest language right now. And Leo is now making a gesture to Ellis as though he's challenging him. And Leo is walking over towards home plate. And Galassi steps between them. So does the other umpire, and both dugouts are empty. And it's Joe Amalfitano who puts his arms around his skipper. Takes him away. Don Leppert, one of the coaches, is trying to get to Leo. And now we're having a free-for-all. A fight has erupted here at Wrigley Field this afternoon, and squads of both teams here, some holding players back, some are in the melee and the fighting.
And it all started over the brushback pitch, first to Hickman and then to Doc Ellis. Pickard is in there. He is on somebody. Pirate comes up. He's trying to swing, and he's being held back. And now he wants to get at whoever's on that ground. And they're pulling players apart.
July 6th, peace and quiet return to Wrigley Field until Ron Santo steps up to the plate.
There's one kiss. It's going. It's going. Stay fair. It does. It's gone. Kiss it goodbye. Ron Santo hits a two-run home run high onto the screen beyond the catwalk in deep left field. That gives the Cubs the lead 2-0.
Swing and a drive. Deep center field. Back goes Oscar. Back to the vines. It's a home run. A great slugger for Santo. His second of the year. The Cubs lead 4-0. There's a drive. Deep center field. This baby is way, way, way back. Tremendous home run for Santo. His third of the day. Way, way back on the AstroTurf in straightaway center field. That ball was shot out about 440 feet. Has he got the range? Man, oh man.
The Cubs sweep both ends of the twin bill with the Expos, but remain in third place, 4.5 games out. Joining newcomer Milt Pappas to give the Northsiders a late-season lift, Chicago's exciting new center fielder adds to the attack with his first Cub hit.
Here's the pitch to Pepitone. He swings and lines that ball into right field for a base hit. Billy Williams rounds third. There goes Hickman to third, and the Cubs now lead 1-0 on Pepitone's line drive base hit.
August 19th, Cub power returns. Oh, man, does it return.
Here's a stretch, 3-0 pitch. Hickman swings. It's gone. There's a tremendous home run for Hickman. Way over the left field bleachers on the Waveland Avenue. The Cubs lead 3-0. Curve, he swings. That baby is tagged. It is gone. Another home run for Hickman. Into the bleachers. And the Cubs lead 7-0. There's a swing and a well-hit drive for center field. Gaston back. Home run onto the AstroTurf, covering the center field bleachers, and Berge with that long, loping trot towards the bases as the fans stand up and give him an ovation. Wind up by Dukes. Fastball swung on. That baby is hit hard. Right field, way back. Home run for Billy. He drills one into the right field bleachers. Boy, did he kiss it. Here's the windup 2-1 pitch. Pepitone swings, a drive deep right field. That baby is gone. He swings. There's a well-hit drive deep to right field. That is back. Home run for Callison. Here's a swing, a well-hit drive left field. Beckert may have one. It is a home run for Glenn Beckert into the left field bleachers. Holy mackerel. Homer number 7 for the Cubs today.
The Cubs' on-again, off-again late-season charge keeps them in the pennant pack. September 12th, in a crucial Cubs-Pittsburgh showdown, shades of 1969, Stargell at bat.
He goes after the first pitch, and he hits a shot high and deep to right center field. Look out. It's gone. Home run.
Hickman's homer in the ninth makes it close, but the Cubs still lose. September 13th, 2 outs in the ninth, the Cubs trailing, and an easy pop fly is about to right finish for Chicago in 70.
There's a swing and a high fly ball. This game is going to be over. Coming in is Matty Alou. Coming on. He reaches out. He drops the ball. Wynn kept carrying it in, and the Cubs get a break. Willie Smith reaches second base as Matty Alou, and that high fly ball started in rather slowly, and then with the wind pushing it in, tried to put on a burst of speed. Lou, that can really turn things around.
Yes, it can with Kessinger here. Both blast. And Seguin was jumping up thinking they had the third out. But when I looked up, Matty Alou was really playing very deep for Willie Smith with that wind blowing it in. So here could be a break for the Cubs. Let's hope we can take advantage of this opportunity. In fact, this could change the entire complex of the rest of this season.
The Cubs are quick to capitalize on the break and win the game, but their momentum stops right there. Instead of demoralizing the Pirates, the error becomes a rallying point around which Pittsburgh builds a drive that takes them to the division title. So the Cubs bid for a pennant, fall short for the second year in a row. But as they say, that's baseball. You win some, you lose some. The Cubs know. They've run the gamut. They've won 10 pennants in the 20th century. They've finished last, too. But they always come back. The Chicago Cubs. Pop Anson, Frank Chance, Johnny Evers, Joe Tinker, Rube Waddell, Rogers Hornsby, Grover Cleveland Alexander, Gabby Hartnett, Mordecai Brown, Bill Lee, Larry French, Ron Warnicki, Tex Carlton, Vern Olson, Hank Barowie, Johnny Schmitz, Clay Bryant, Bob Rush, Emil Kush, Ed Hanazuski, Charlie Root, Larry Jackson, Dick Ellsworth, Dutch Leonard, Dizzy Dean, Chuck Klein, Rig Stevenson, Kai Kyler, Hack Wilson, Frank Demery, Joe Marty, Augie Galland, Phil Cavaretta, Peanuts Lowry, Eddie Waitkus, Rip Collins, Billy Herman, Stan Hack, Billy Jerkes, Roy Smalley, Andy Pafko, Frank Baumholz, Woody English, Bob Sheffing, Freddie Lindstrom, Kenny Hubbs, and hundreds more. The Chicago Cubs, with a rich heritage built on a tradition as old as organized baseball itself. Another championship can't be too far away for our own wild, wonderful, and unforgettable Chicago Cubs.